So today I'm with Nichole. Nichole, I approached you and I told you the purpose of this channel is prevention through awareness, by you sharing your story of addiction, of how you got started with coke. You can actually help save somebody's life out there by you sharing your story. So how long have you been using coke?
Probably since I was about 18. I've been out here on the street for like 9 years now, I think. What caused it?
What?
Just wanting to be part of the crew, part of the gang, I guess. Having fun. Started and never stopped, pretty much. It's pretty addicting. I do coke, so.
And how do you snort it? What do
I
you do?
smoke.
You
I smoke crack, yeah.
What's the difference? Why do some people snort it? Why do some people smoke it? What's the difference?
I don't know, I guess the effect. Smoking it's more expensive. You could go broke pretty quick with it.
Okay. And okay, interesting.
I think that's why a lot of people end up on the streets, because they start doing crack and then it gets too expensive and they end up losing everything they have. I've seen a lot of people do that out here. Never done it before, and they start and then they lose everything. Little by little, they lose their car, their house, their families, pretty much everything.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah, I lost my kids. I don't talk to my family anymore. I moved down here. So I'm pretty much out here by myself right now. It's pretty hard.
Where are you from?
New Mexico?
Albuquerque?
Yeah.
I was in Albuquerque last year, and the blues are hitting over there really, really hard.
They're really bad over here. I see people die all the time. I've seen 26 people die this year alone that I know. A friend of mine died in my room a couple of months back in January. So yeah, it's not a good thing. It's destroying everybody. Before, it used to just be like homeless people, like just like drunk Indians or just veterans out on the street asking for money and stuff. Now it's just so many young kids, and they're just everywhere. It's getting to be crazy because everywhere they go, like it just gets worse and worse, and they're just everywhere, all in the streets and everything. And I feel bad for a lot of them, but I don't know what else you could do. It's not really anything you could do about it, really. It's not going to go away. It's probably just going to get worse.
It's definitely going to get worse, Nichole. I've been doing this since November of 2020, and it's getting worse. Every month it gets worse and worse and worse, right? Here's a recession, high gas prices, people are going to start losing their jobs, companies going to start laying people off, people aren't going to be able to afford their rent, their mortgage, their gas, their electricity bill. And I just keep seeing, families, like people you wouldn't suspect would be homeless are now becoming homeless,
I know. Like, I'm not saying coke's any better than blues, but like it's so much way worse. Like, I can't sit out here on the streets and smoke in front of people like the way it's happening. I don't even know why the cops don't get arrested, because like I got 3 years of probation just now recently, last month, for having a crack pipe on me, and they walk around with straws and foils up and down the street like it doesn't mean nothing. And I'm thinking, like, I couldn't smoke out here like that. Like, I couldn't smoke out here. You see kids, you don't even see kids outside on the streets anymore, hardly playing or anything, like coming outside or walking around or anything. The parents don't want to let them go outside because it's like on every corner. It's like on every corner of the street, in front of the stores, in front of hotels, in front of gas stations. It's just everywhere. Like, everybody's just out there, and then they're just doing that on the street. They don't even care. Like, even sleeping on the sidewalk in front of stores and everything. That's not like, they don't even go to like the back of a building or anything anymore. It's just like there's no shame in anything. And it's like it's just getting really bad.
It's out in the open. It's really young people now. The youngest person I've seen is 13 out here. What's the youngest you've seen?
13, yeah. No, 13, 14 years old. But I've had I know a lot of people whose kids have died just from taking one hit. All it takes is just one hit of that stuff, and that's it. And you don't even realize it. It's just so easy to just go. And I've seen there's not even heroin anymore on the streets. It's all that fentanyl. I mean, before you used to hear about heroin all the time, and now you don't even hear about it. Just fentanyl. It's really bad. It's taking over everything.
It is. You're absolutely right about that. That's you being out here all the time for the past 9 years. You're seeing it.
I've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot. Day.
And at first, it was affecting people like in a weird way. There's strong, like, weird body movements and like just weird, just like almost like people like were possessed or something, like zombies. That they're walking around like zombies. And then now it's like they're just like straight knocked out cold. And I don't know what kind of life is that just to be able to just take a hit and just not out. It's dangerous, especially for women, because I couldn't imagine being out here working on the street and take a hit of that, and you'd be asleep in a car with some guy, and you never know what's going to happen to you. Especially women, it's really dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. And I see them getting beat up all the time out here, or even taking pills for exchange for drugs. And not good.
It's just a recipe for disaster. And again, they're getting younger and younger. So what's going to happen with that generation? This generation of youth that should be in college, should be in high school, but they're out here
or dead. They're dying left and right. They're dying. There's no coming back from that stuff. It's really hard. And then I don't think they want to put them in jail because, when I went to jail, like I was wondering, what are they? How come they don't arrest them? Why is it just like they can just walk around or whatever doing drugs and stuff like that? I barely walk out here in a dress and I'll get arrested. But like them, they don't seem to get arrested. But I got arrested. I went back in a warrant in January right before I got the 2 years probation. And when I went back, the reason why I think they don't arrest all the people is because everybody that was in there, all the girls that were in there, they had a trash bag tied to the side of their bed because they're sick. They get sick. It's not just a mind thing. It's a physical thing. Then it makes them sick. And so I think the state doesn't want to have to deal with that, because so many people in there sick. Because there's so many people. Imagine locking them all up and everybody in there sick. That's the way it was. Every bed was full of a woman throwing up and sick to the bones. I mean, like hurting bad, like crying, sick, not even able to get up for like 4 to 5 days. They're just laying there sick, throwing up all day long. It's horrible. That's why they don't want to lock them up. But then again, there's not even rehab for them to put them in either, really. I've been trying to find a rehab now for the past month, and it's hard for me to find one. A decent one, anyways.
Have you ever been to any treatment centers?
Well, I went to a halfway house when I got out of prison 2 years ago. I went to Skelly House, and it was a really nice place. It was a really good place. I recommend Skelly House for anybody who wants to get clean because it was a really good structured environment. So I've been trying to get back in there, but they told me they didn't have any beds for a couple of weeks. So.
What
Because I want to get off the streets too. Especially now in the heat, it's hot. I wonder what's going to happen now that it gets hotter, with half of the people out here. Because, it's hot too to be outside and sleeping while you're homeless. It's scary. It scares me because I feel bad for a lot of people out here. It's hot for me even. It's hot.
You mentioned, so what you were talking about earlier is the withdrawals. So they all tell me, the folks that are doing blues, that the withdrawals are super painful. Very painful, and they feel like they're dying.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, they started taking the pills because the pills made them feel good. It numbed everything, numbed the pain. But then they got addicted very fast because and now they need the pills to,
they have to have it.
Keep the withdrawals away.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between those withdrawals from counterfeit fentanyl pills, and what's the difference between those and do you get withdrawals when you're
doing coke?
Yes.
Nuh-uh. Well, I guess I could just sleep it off. Really, it's not. I'm not saying it's not bad. Cocaine's a bad drug. Rather, regardless, it's time consuming. It's money consuming. It just makes you forget about everything. But you don't do anything except for chase that all day long. But when you quit, it's just a matter of just rest, I guess, just getting your mind off of it. But it's hard to stop. Once you start, it's hard to stop. But it's not as bad as fentanyl pills at all. It's not. There's no withdrawal like that. You don't get sick. Your body doesn't get all. I mean, I've been doing it for years and years and years. So, like, if I don't have it in the mornings, I need to have it. Like, I grouchy, kind of like when you're smoking weed and you need some weed, you get that grouchy, grumpy feeling if you don't have it. That's what I get. It's like needing a cigarette now for me because it's kind of like a habit now. It's just like, it's like smoking a cigarette anymore, but it's still just hard to quit sometimes.
And what message do you have for your family or friends that watch this from New Mexico? What do you want to tell them?
It's not easy out here on the street. It's really not. It's hot. It's dangerous. You never know what's going to happen the minute you walk out the door. Anything could happen to you. There's a lot of girls that are ending up missing out here on the streets, and nobody knows where they're going, and nobody really even cares. If you die out here in the streets, and if you get killed or anything like that, the cops really don't give a shit. They don't go investigate. They don't look to see who killed you or anything. If you don't have no family or friends out here, which you don't, nobody is your friend out here. You don't have no friends out here. Everybody's just out for 3 things, and that's ass, cash, and stash, and that's it. If you don't got one of those 3 things for people out here, they don't want nothing to do with you. And so if you don't have money and you don't have something for people out here, it's cold. It's cold out here. People are cold.
And with being out here in this cold world, how do you stay safe?
God's the only thing I got out here. He's the only one that can help everybody out here.
Wow. Yeah. At least you still remain spiritual and you believe in God that protects you, and hopefully one day that faith in God will lead you towards a clean life, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
It's been a long time, and so maybe one day you'll hit rock bottom and realize that nothing's out here for you, and maybe you could be reunited with your family, your children. Do you miss them?
Yeah, I do a lot.
When's the last time you saw your children?
Probably over 9 years. Yeah, I hope I get to see them one day. I think they'll come looking for me.
Think so?
I hope so.
So I've interviewed out there. I've interviewed out in Albuquerque. I went into the war zone, right, and interviewed people out there. So I do have fans out there, subscribers from New Mexico, Albuquerque. So they might see this. So here's your opportunity to let them know how you feel.
Yeah.
Do you miss them? Do you want?
Yeah, I miss my kids. I miss my family.
Okay.
It's hard out here by myself, but I did it to myself. Most days it's not that bad, but I mean, some days it's like, I don't have family out here. But I mean, some days I like being out here. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing, but like, some days I like being out here, and some days I just wish I had my family back. Wish I was home. Yeah, where people cared about me and loved me, know who I really am. Out here, you're a different person. You become a different person. Whether you want to or not, you gotta find your way to survive out here, but it's not the way to live. It's not a life. It's just like a lifestyle. Hopefully it just changes soon.
What advice do you have for parents? You're a parent. So what advice do you have for parents that have rebellious children?
Spend time with them. Spend time with your kids, as much as you can, because you never know what's going to happen, really. You don't never know when you're going to lose them, or one day they turn around and take a hit of just to be curious or whatever, and end up gone or dead or on the streets again. And there's a girl that they're looking for right now, too, that she, I guess she started doing fentanyl pills, and her family's looking for her, and nobody can find her. I hope she's not with the rest of them, because who knows where they're at. They're probably dead. In Albuquerque, there's 13 girls that were missing out there in the West Mesa. They found 13 dead bodies, or 11, something like that, and they've never found out who. They were all prostitutes. They've never found out who killed them. But they found 13 girls out there and still haven't found out. That's what I'm telling you. They don't care about you out here. Unless you're out here on the streets, they don't care.
When I went out there, they told me that story about the 13 girls that were found out. They're on the west end of Albuquerque, right? They were starting to build houses or something, and they dug a hole.
Yeah,
oh my God, we ran.
Yeah, or this lady that was hiking. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stories. Yeah, there's this lady that was hiking too, and I guess she found the dog was digging some bones. They found some bones out there, and that's how they started digging out there, and they found the rest of those bodies. It's crazy. But now there's like about 20-something girls missing out here, right here on the streets too. But like I said, if you don't have family looking for you, or if you don't have people that care about you, you might stay missing forever.
Nichole, I'm gonna say thank you very much for talking to me, sharing your story. Again, somebody's gonna watch this and take your advice and not start drugs, right? Whether it's coke or blues or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and stay safe, okay? So that you're not a victim of violence, right, out here, because it's dangerous. But you got to choose to, lead a better life, get some treatment, and just we can all do better, right? So
Yeah.
there's hope for you. Keep relying on God and yourself to get out of here, okay?
Okay.
So thank you very much. I'm
Thank you.
gonna go grab you some food. Food has been donated by my subscribers. So we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.